Carlos Alcaraz has done it again. Just when you thought his team was complete, boom, he adds another piece to the puzzle. The Mercian sensation keeps reinforcing his technical staff, making sure he's got all the backup needed to face 2025 with maximum firepower. Following the same playbook he used with Juan Carlos Ferrero and Samu López, Alcaraz has now expanded his team on the physiotherapy front. The Spaniard has just welcomed a new addition to his inner circle, aiming to share the workload, or, depending on how you see it, offload some of the heavy lifting. Specifically, Juanjo Moreno will be stepping aside for certain tournaments, making way for Fran Rubio, a close friend of the tennis prodigy. According to reports from Eurosport, Rubio is coming on board full-time and will take over Moreno's role in various weeks of competition. Meanwhile, Alcaraz is out there in Rotterdam, swinging his racket without Ferrero by his side. And guess what? He couldn't care less. He's chilling. I love spending time with Juan Carlos, obviously, but Samu is an amazing coach too. I trust him 100%. I was training with him. He knows me inside out. Same with Samu. He understands my game perfectly. So, really, nothing changes, Alcaraz said, brushing off any concerns. About his first match, which was trickier than expected, he didn't hold back. I knew it wasn't going to be easy. First rounds are always a pain in the ass, especially in a new tournament. Plus, Botic had the whole damn crowd on his side, so I expected him to play at a really high level. I was sure of that, he admitted. I'm just happy I managed to pull through in this tough match and that I get to keep improving in the next round. First time in Rotterdam, and I'm already loving it. Super happy with what I achieved today. And just like that, revenge is sweet. Alcaraz got even with Van de Zandschulp, a player he clearly respects. He's a really complete player. Super quick, great shots, physically a beast. You never know what crazy shot he's going to pull out of nowhere, and that makes him damn dangerous. Every time we've played, he's put on a hell of a show, but hey, I like that. If these guys want to beat me, they better bring their A game. Not one for excuses, Alcaraz also shared his thoughts on the playing conditions in Rotterdam, which haven't exactly been doing him any favors. Yeah, I had good training sessions to adjust, but it's been tricky. New balls, everything's faster, and after 2 or 3 rallies, the ball gets massive. It's kinda hard to play super aggressive with them. But whatever, I'm not going to sit here complaining. You can still play great tennis in these conditions. Now that he's avenged his loss to Van de Zandschulp, Alcaraz is already eyeing the next big challenge. The Spaniard, currently ranked number 3 in the world, kicked off his Rotterdam campaign with a tough 7-6, 3-6, 6-1 win against the Dutchman, setting up a showdown with either Canadian Felix Auger-Aliassime or Italian Andrea Vavasori in the round of 16. This marks his 3rd win over Van de Zandschulp, taking the head-to-head tally to 3-1. Notably, the Dutchman had the upper hand in their last encounter, knocking Alcaraz out in the 2nd round of the US Open in straight sets, 6-1, 7-5, 6-4. However, if anyone's got a real shot at stopping Alcaraz in this tournament, it's Holger Rune. The Danish firecracker isn't messing around in 2025, he's hell-bent on making a statement. After a solid showing at the Australian Open, where he ultimately fell to eventual champ Jannik Sinner, Rune is now wreaking havoc in Rotterdam. His debut was nothing short of brutal, crushing Lorenzo Sonego, who was impressive in Melbourne, in straight sets, 7-5, 6-4. But before any potential face-off with Alcaraz, there are still hurdles to clear. The Danish dynamite, Holger Rune, isn't slowing down anytime soon. His next victim, or should we say, potential victim, has already been lined up for the 2nd round. And guess what? It's another Spaniard. This time, it's Pedro Martinez, who earned his ticket to face Rune after absolutely steamrolling his compatriot Roberto Bautista in their all-Spanish showdown. The final score? A solid 6-3, 6-2 beatdown. Now, Martinez has a massive challenge ahead, trying to stop the relentless, trash-talking, racket-smashing Rune. Spoiler alert, it won't be a walk in the park. Carlos Alcaraz, meanwhile, stepped up to the mic after his first match in Rotterdam, and let's just say, the man had some thoughts. His opening round was far from a leisurely warm-up, and he didn't hesitate to break down the struggles he faced. "Yeah, I had solid training sessions to adjust, but man, it was tough. New balls, the game feels ridiculously fast, and after just a couple of rallies, the ball turns into a damn watermelon. It's tricky to stay aggressive with that going on," he admitted, before making it clear he wasn't there to whine about it. "Still, I don't want to sit here complaining. At the end of the day, you can still show great tennis." That being said, he didn't hold back from calling out some of the conditions. "Look, last year, we saw way too many injuries. Tons of guys ended up messing up their elbows or shoulders. They've got to tweak something because this is just too much. And the thing is, we're playing with different balls, different conditions every single week. It's a nightmare trying to adapt," he pointed out. "But hey, we're here to give it our all, no matter what. I've been lucky so far. No physical issues. I work my ass off every day to stay in top shape, and right now, I feel good. The cold? Yeah, it's getting better. Bit by bit," he added with a laugh. Alcaraz did, however, get a proper scare in his revenge match against Botic van de Zandschulp. The Spaniard had to grind to survive his Rotterdam debut, but somehow, he pulled it off and secured his spot in the round of 16. This was his first match back since crashing out of the Australian Open, and let's be real, he was thrown straight into the deep end. Not only was he up against one of his recent tormentors, but he was also dealing with the whole indoor court situation, which has never exactly been his favorite playground. Add to that the fact that he was playing with one of those now iconic nasal strips, because, of course, he's battling a cold, and things weren't looking great for the world number 3. And yet, despite all that, he got the job done. Carlos Alcaraz has officially ticked off his first win in Rotterdam, but damn, it wasn't a walk in the park. The final score? A gritty 7-6, 3, 3-6, 6-1, sealing his revenge against Botic van de Zandschulp, the same guy who kicked him out of the US Open last time they met. And while the Spaniard walked away with the victory, he definitely had a few heart-stopping moments along the way. The match started off as a proper pain in the ass for Alcaraz. Van de Zandschulp came out swinging, putting the world number 3 in serious trouble. At one point, the Dutchman was this close to grabbing the first set, and it really looked like things could go south for Carlitos. But, in typical Alcaraz fashion, he refused to go down without a fight. Even with the scoreboard looking ugly, he found a way to turn things around, clawing back into the match with one of his signature comebacks. Just when it seemed like he had things under control, the second set rolled around, and, boom, Alcaraz found himself struggling again. Van de Zandschulp turned into a relentless wall, chasing down every single ball like his life depended on it, forcing the Spaniard into uncharacteristic errors. The Dutchman made sure Alcaraz barely had a chance to breathe, let alone dictate play, and took the set without much fuss. But then came the third set. And that's when Alcaraz really woke up. The Mercian basically pulled out a metaphorical machete, slashing his way through the rallies, firing off ridiculous shots, and leaving Van de Zandschulp completely drained. The Dutchman, who had been grinding so hard in the first 2 sets, simply ran out of gas. His legs stopped responding, his shots lost their sting, and suddenly, Alcaraz was the one calling all the shots. In the blink of an eye, the Spaniard crushed any remaining hope Van de Zandschulp had and wrapped up the set with absolute authority. With this hard-fought win, Alcaraz clears his first major hurdle in Rotterdam, securing his spot in the round of 16. He still doesn't know who his next opponent will be, but one thing's for sure, he's determined to push forward and claim his first title of the season. However, there's no denying that this debut performance left more questions than answers. Despite pulling off the victory, the way he got there wasn't exactly reassuring. He had to dig deep to escape from a 2-4 hole in the first set, got completely outplayed in the second, and only in the third did he start looking like the Alcaraz everyone expects. The inconsistency raised some eyebrows, leaving many wondering just how far he can go in this tournament. And let's not forget, he's been battling a nasty cold since his time in Australia. Playing through congestion, coughing fits, and whatever other misery comes with a lingering illness is no joke. But hey, at least he got rid of Van de Zandschulp and managed to shake off some of that post-Aussie Open rust. Now, the real question is, can he shake off the doubts and start playing the kind of tennis that wins titles? If you're enjoying this breakdown, don't forget to subscribe and drop a like. Here at Tennis Extra, we're all about bringing you the best content for the best audience. From in-depth analysis to exclusive interviews and all the latest on the biggest tournaments, we've got you covered. Join our community and be part of the action. Because if you love tennis, this is where you want to be.